Hello everyone. Just going to try and arrange my screen so that I can see your comments as I broadcast, which I managed to do last time. Okay, there's no one here yet, but I'm going to crack on anyway because I know lots of you watch this on replay via the website or via Facebook. So I hope everyone is well today. I've done the reading for this morning and got some interesting questions come up today. And the other thing that's happened is that out of the 6 sections of questions that I draw from, the number 5 card has come up 3 times, 50% of the time. So I'm wondering, what is it about the number 5 today? If the number 5 means something specific to you today, I would be really curious to hear about it. So by all means, let me know in the chat if the number 5 means anything to you. Today it's the 19th of April. It's my little Tommy's birthday, but he's 7, not 5. So that's me today. Let's have a look at the questions that have come up today. So we'll start with our goal setting question. So this is about acknowledging our goals, having goals. Without goals, it's very difficult to make change happen in our lives. So we sometimes don't explicitly frame what it is we're hoping to achieve or accomplish. Perhaps we're scared that if we put it out there and then don't achieve it, it'll sting or feel like failure. But there is a statistic that says a goal written down is 9 times more likely to be achieved. So if you are watching this and you have a pen and pad at your disposal, I'd encourage you to write down the answers to the questions I ask and write down what it is you hope to accomplish. And the other thing is that it's worth, as you listen to these questions, having a really clear theme in mind for what you would like to work on, for the area of your life that feels like it needs some change or would benefit from some focus. Perhaps that's your romantic relationships, perhaps it's your career or your finances or your health or the amount of fun and laughter in your life at the moment. Maybe it's your family or your personal development, your friends and social life or your home environment. Maybe it's your self-esteem and your emotional well-being. Or maybe it's how you make a contribution and give back to the world. So if you don't yet have a really specific goal space for yourself, at least think about the territory, the theme or area of your life that would benefit from some focus. So that as I ask these questions, you've got that particular area in mind and can kind of narrow your focus a little bit. So let's set some goals for today. We have pulled card 8, which is called Creation. We have enormous power and resources to make things happen, to bring into existence the things that we want, to manifest our dreams and our goals. It starts with knowing what you want to create and having a really clear picture of that in your mind's eye, really being able to picture that envisioned future for yourself and carrying that with us. Then because that's our focus, we naturally align around that picture and things begin to shift towards it. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system, and it acts as our perceptional filter. It's like sometimes when you hear a new word for the first time and then you see it 3 more times in the same week. It's because your reticular activating system is all of a sudden honed on this new piece of information. It's also how we hold our beliefs solid. Our brain focuses only on the evidence that supports our belief and, cleverly screens out evidence that might challenge deeply held beliefs of ours. So you can harness the power of the reticular activating system to move you towards your goals by painting a really clear picture in your mind's eye. And then your reticular activating system, I've said that too many times, will draw towards you things that align around that picture and will naturally filter out things that don't. And that's how we can help ourselves create, by tapping into our subconscious capability. So, thinking about that area of your life that you want to focus on, what would you love to create for yourself? What would you love to create? What could you start or build and bring into being that would be a new dimension to your life and bring you fulfillment? What could you start that would be a wonderful new dimension to your life? Imagine that you can create a new life for yourself with all of the best bits of your life now, plus one really important difference. What would that difference be? And just thinking about that new area of your life, that new dimension that would really make a difference to your life. What would you need to transform or to accomplish to make that difference real? And think about that as your goal space for the day. The thing that you would need to transform or accomplish to create this new dimension to your life. Now, let's move on to our reality check. So this is the first of our number 5 cards. And it's the empowerment card. We so often give away our power to other people and things by feeling victim of something, by focusing on things outside of our control, or by pouring energy into black holes of self-pity or frustration or rumination on an event that has been and gone, or something that we simply cannot influence or change. Imagine if you could take all of that time, energy, focus, and channel it into things that you could influence and that were within your control. Imagine how much power and energy that would give you, how much momentum you could create. So, just thinking about that energy that you have, that life experience, that life force. What have you learned from previous experiences that is useful to you now in relation to the goal? That goal of creating a new dimension to your life. What have you learned from what's gone before that is useful? What resources do you have that could help you solve this challenge, that could help move you forward? Think about all of your resources, the things you have, the skills you have, the people in your life, the learnings, the experiences. Those are all resources. Money, time, those are resources. Effort, energy, those are resources. So think about every resource that you have. Which of those resources could help move you forward? think about the biggest challenge you have overcome in your life to date. Think about what you had to bring and how you had to show up to contend with that challenge. How can that experience and energy space help you now if you point it towards this new dimension you're creating? And what is it that makes you the most powerful and empowered version of yourself? What do you tap into when you are your best self? So that's our empowerment reality check. Look at how much wonderful stuff you have at your disposal. If you could channel all that good stuff into this goal space, what could it open up for you? Right. I'm going to go on to our brainstorming of options, and then we'll do our Cartesian coordinates and our values and beliefs. Someone saying hello? No, it's just a message coming in. Feel free to say hello. It's always lovely to hear from you. Oh, now someone said hello. No, still no one said hello. I'm just pinging randomly. Okay, let's look at our options. Today's option questions are interesting. It's pragmatism, which is an interesting fit with creativity. So sometimes we just need to cut through the clutter and creativity and find a path forward. Perhaps you have this built up in your mind. The pragmatism card is a sign that you need to keep it simple and find a way to make headway. So, what is the most simple and direct route you could take to make progress? What is the most simple and direct route you could take? Now I can see your comments. Hello, hello. Nice to see you both. Okay, so most simple and direct route for making progress. What one small step could you take to move forward? One small step to move you down that simple and direct route. Now let me ask you this. If you did nothing else but focus on this one thing, this area of your life, this dimension that you wanted to create, what could you get done? If you could clear out all other priorities and just focus on this, what could you get done? Give yourself 2 hours at some point this week to work on this one thing. How will you spend those 2 hours? And this is to create something new, to give you some progress towards that new dimension of your life. Just 2 hours to dedicate to it. What will you focus on? Okay, I'm going to go to the next number 5 card, which is the values and beliefs card. And this one is all about perspective. So the intro to this card says, the lenses we apply to a given situation utterly define our reality. So by looking through a different lens, we can open up a different reality. This card is an invitation to step out of our usual perspective and see life from a different angle, and to notice what opens up for you. So we got the creation goal card, which is inviting you to imagine up something completely new that will bring more fulfillment and a new dimension to your life. And then we were invited to think about our resources and experiences, the things that would really enable us to make some progress by applying those resources and experiences into this area. And then we've been invited to get really pragmatic. What would it take to just make some forward motion, some baby steps? There's something really interesting about how this is shaping up, in my opinion. And now the values and beliefs card is asking us to apply a new lens. There's something here about creating breakthrough thinking, I think. So this number 5 card is asking, what are you self-critical about? How are you confining yourself with self-criticism, or maybe a lack of self-belief? What if it just isn't true? I talked about the reticular activating system. We find evidence to support a belief that we formed somewhere along the line, right? That's how the brain works. What if it isn't true? What if the way you are limiting yourself is just a story? What if the opposite is true? What if something different is true? What does that open up for you in relation to this new dimension of your life? Here's the next question. What's the worst that could happen? And I bet that invites all sorts of horror stories. They are just stories. And it's useful to know what's the absolute outside edge. But if you determine to make something work, are you going to let the worst happen? Or really, how likely is it that the worst will happen? What will you lose by changing? Maybe it's that thing that you might lose that's keeping you stuck. Maybe you could lose something that doesn't serve you anymore. What assumptions are you making? And what are the actual facts, not interpreted, not through a lens, not assumed, the tangible, cold, hard facts? Just think about the difference, the facts versus the assumptions, and notice what opens up for you. Now, our Cartesian coordinates today are around time. Again, there's something about direct routes to make change happen today, I think, looking at the themes. So we've got the time coordinates. These are the kind of trick our brains into opening up new ways of thinking, getting to breakthrough thinking. So what would you do if you had more time? And again, thinking about this dimension of your life that you might want to open up. What would you do if you had more time? What would you do if you had less time? I'm thinking about that pragmatism card. Shortest, most direct route, maybe. What would you do if you had less time? What would you not do if you had more time? And what would you not do if you had less time? And then a slight pace change for our way forward card. Because the card that has come up, another number 5. Anyone got any significance around the number 5? Do let me know. It's the heart card that has come up. Sometimes, reads this card, we just need to put some heart energy out there into the universe and forget about plans for a moment. This is a suggestion to open your heart outward and pour your energy, gratitude and goodness into the world, and to notice how you feel having done that. So the questions on this card: what one action would be wholly beneficial to another person? What selfless act could you take? Write down at least 3 things you are grateful for right now. I'll give you a moment to do that while I think of my own. Your birthday, Julie. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Or are you saying that it's your birthday relates to the number 5? In which case I just sang you a spontaneous happy birthday unnecessarily. I'm dead curious now. So I hope you have found 3 things at least that you feel grateful for right now. So what random act of kindness will you do? I don't know how this joins together, this heart space stuff, with creating this new dimension of your life. If you're noticing some way they connect, let me know. Notice it. Ah, Bonfire Baby, November the 5th. So you did get a spontaneous and unwarranted happy birthday. I wonder what birthday energy you need to connect with today to make something happen. Now, I'm going to ask you, whether you're watching live or on the replay, to just put your hand on your heart and take a slow, deep breath. Now, what is it that you need to do? That's the action for you to take forward from today's session. Gratitude, random acts of kindness, something that will benefit another, and whatever your heart whispered to you in that moment of pause and breath. That's for you to commit to taking forward. And that is today's session. I hope it's been useful to you. It was an interesting one today. Sort of connected and disconnected in equal measure. Have a good rest of the day. Have a good week. Give yourself 2 hours to focus on the action that your heart spoke to you. And let me know in the group what happens, what came up for you, what comes up for you, and I look forward to seeing you back here at 1 o'clock next week. See you soon.